inspiring. Now, let's go on to Zoom now. We're going to have a conversation with our regional correspondents. They'll bring us some updates on the stories they've been following for us. It's a Friday. Let's go to the Central Region. Richard Kojinako joins us from the Central Region, from Cape Coast. Hello, Richard. Thank you very much for joining us here on The Pulse. You have been following the NDC running mate, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, because she started her campaign in that region. Tell us more, plus the stories you've been following for us. What is the update from there? Well, Richard, we seem to be having challenges with your sound there. If you can just correct that for us, we'll return to you on Zoom for you to bring us up to speed on all the stories you've been following for us this week from the Central Region, from Cape Coast. We'll touch base with our Volta Region correspondent, Ivy Setoji. She's also been following the COVID-19 restrictions in schools. As you know, they have started with the examination. There were some who tested positive in some schools. Ivy followed up to bring us some interviews. But what has become of the situation, especially now as the Ghana Education Service has announced that the Gold Track students in Form 2 can take a break now? How are the guidelines informing what they're doing as far as releasing the students to go home is concerned? We'll be bringing you that interview shortly. We'll also go to the Northern Region and speak to our correspondent from there. But let me go to the Volta Region. Ivy Satoji joins us from home. Hello, Ivy.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good to have you. You brought us some stories this week. I am particularly interested in the stories from the various senior high schools. What's the update from there?
Okay, so right now the schools are observing the protocols as well, and then but parents and teachers as well as students are still, according to them, are still living in fear because they are still suspecting that there are more cases that.
Terrible connection there to Ivy. Would correct that and have her back on the line on stream to give us some more update on the situation in the schools in the Volta region. Now, Ivy has been speaking to teachers, to some of the students themselves, as well as to parents who are worried about their wards. Now we know they can go home beginning next week. The Ghana Education Service has issued some guidelines to help the schools as they discharge the students for vacation. Gold Track students of Form 2. Let's go up north to Bono East precisely. Anas Sabit joins us via Zoom. Anas, thank you very much for joining us, and Eid Mubarak.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Very soon I'll be taking a flight for my portion of the meat that you've been serving at home. But tell us about the stories you brought us this week, including how Muslims there are celebrating Eid Al-Adha today.
First, let me speak a bit about a survey that was conducted by the Kintampo College of Health and Wellbeing in relation to Kintampo, the Kintampo municipality, and then their adherence to the safety COVID-19 protocols. In fact, the survey revealed that only 24% of the respondents adhere to the use of the nose mask. In this, according to health authorities within the municipality, is a huge challenge because, as it stands, it is the nose mask that is the surest way of getting ourselves prevented from getting the COVID-19 disease. And so authorities in Kintampo say the survey is going to be helpful because now they know how where to tackle this particular pandemic. So that is the first one I want us to look at. And then I remember this week, somewhere last week, the finance minister read the budget, and then he missed to mention the DKM saga. Residents of affected customers of DKM held a press conference expressing their disappointment in the government for failing to capture their plight in the mid-year budget review. Then the former president, during the outdooring of his running mate, also made mention of paying these affected clients within 1 year when he returned to power. And we engaged some of the residents, of which most of them of the view that some of these statements are mere political talks aimed at scoring cheap political points. That is also one of the stories we tackled this week.
And very powerful soundbite you brought us in that story. A lot of the market women, very passionate. Some were quite happy, but weren't sure if this is really something they should bank their hopes on. But also on the voter registration exercise, which is ongoing, the Peace Council spoke, and they were not happy with the political parties not respecting the roadmap that they signed. Tell us a bit about that.
That was a story Precious followed. In fact, that was in Sunyani. It had to do with the. I'll leave that for Precious to speak on. Finally, I would want to touch on the Eid celebrations. You know, today is the Eid Al-Adha, and so we stepped out there to speak with Muslims, especially as sellers at the goat and sheep market in Techiman, and most of them were very worried at their sales this time round. They say, comparing to same period last year, they made a lot of sales, but this year they are no buyers in the market.
And this seems to be the thing running through our checks in the regions. But you mentioned Precious. He joins us on the line. Precious, thank you for joining us on Zoom. This week, what were the major headlines from your region?
It has to do with the electoral violence that has characterized the registration exercise in some part of the region, specifically in the Banda district, as well as the Doma Central, constituency in the Bono region. Now, the Peace Council, they had a training program, as it were, to continue the advocacy, continue training political parties and stakeholders as to the need to hold on to the peace that we've enjoyed as a country over the years. And the Peace Council specifically are not excited, and they are not happy with the kind of cooperation that they are getting from the political parties. And according to the Executive Secretary in the Bono region, Swala Abdullah Kwanda, now he is saying that the party seems to be going by their own set of rules, disregarding what the referee of the game and then the organizers of the game they've put out there. Now, parties go to the registration centers and they want to drag people that they suspect are not residents or are not Ghanaians from the queue and prevent them from registering. But that is not the procedure. You go through the challenge form so that everything will be done amicably, but that seems not to be happening. The Peace Council believes that if the parties and who are the key stakeholders continues to disregard and flout this arrangement, then obviously it becomes a challenge. And the only thing that they can continue to do is to dialogue with them, is to appeal to their conscience, is to engage them as to why there's the need for them to go through the procedure. But with the Banda issue particularly, let me tell you what happened yesterday coming into today. Now, it's been between the two major political parties in Banda, and Banda is the only constituency in the Bono region that has an NDC MP. Now, the registration process degenerated into a chaotic scene, resulting in the death of that fresh graduate, teacher training graduate. Now, the Regional Security Council, headed by the Regional Minister, Evelyn Amakumi Richardson, they have been trying to ensure that peace returns to the constituency in Banda. And we understand that yesterday she had a meeting, the RECSEC had a meeting with the two main actors, that is Ahmed Adams, the NDC parliamentary candidate and the incumbent MP, and then Joe Dankwa, who will be running on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party. Now, they have issued a communique saying that the two parties have agreed to ensure that they go through the process now, during and after the general election in a peaceful manner, with the promise that they will go by the laid down procedure and advise their followers to ensure that they also abide by the tenets of the game, that is the electoral process. And that is something that is very refreshing to note.
Yes, very refreshing.
I'm sure to bring peace.
Very refreshing and some good news there. Precious, I want you to follow up on this for us so that indeed, as they have said, they will follow the procedures and make sure that there's peace in that region. Let's go back to the central region and also to the Volta region. Kojo Nyako joins us again, and Ivy Setoji as well. Kojo, let's see if this will work. The running mate of the NDC, Professor Nano Pokuajiman, has been campaigning already. Bring us up to speed on that. Sorry, it didn't work again. Sorry, Kojo Nyako. We still have a terrible connection with the sound. Let's see if Ivy can hear us. Hello, Ivy. Hello, Ivy.
Yeah, hello, Ernest.
Okay, I can hear you now. You're
Yes,
talking about how parents are worried, but now we know that the Ghana Education says the students can't go home. What is the reaction now?
Oh, well, yes, with that, their children will come back to them. They are home safe with them. And also teachers are also happy. Some teachers are also happy as well because of the happenings on campus. But then the final years that they...
Terrible connection there, forgive us. We'll have a better conversation next week where we'll bring you a wrap of the stories we'll be bringing you for the regions. But that'll be wrap.